Well, after that you might think, fair enough, you presented us some examples of innovative behavior, but the hometown where I'm from, there are so many impolite bureaucrats. What about them? Why do I live in a borough which is still uninnovative? So the question arises, what are obstacles to innovative behavior? Well, let me just enumerate three of them. A lack of innovative behavior in some administrations is due to a lack of competition in the public sector as a whole. You will learn in your first year that the major differences between public sector management and private sector management is that in public sector there is a lack of competition. So jurisdictions, a municipality or whatever, federal government don't have to compete to survive. Right? They can deliver high performance, but if they don't, so what? If we think of public administrators as utility maximizers, which I think makes sense, it's rational for them to maximize budgets, reputation, and hopefully also the public interest. Another point is that some elected officials do not adopt a new practice because they intend to protect their managerial autonomy. Sometimes federal government or central government implements or pushes an innovative practice, but some elected officials at the local level want to avoid to adopt it because they want to keep their autonomy. That's another main argument why some are non-innovative. Two questions arise from what I said so far. How to spread innovation in public administration beyond some frontrunners. And the second one is, what does all that mean for Moscow, the city we are living in? Well, one idea to spread public innovation among borders might be a patent system for public administration. Because in the public sector, we don't have a kind of law or regulation that protects the innovator and secures in some benefits, right? Innovations are considered as a public value. And in contrast to the private sector, there's no patent system that secures the claims of innovative individuals. So how can we make that a best practice becomes the industry standard in the sector? Or similar to the question, how can we secure knowledge spillover beyond borders? I consider there are two basic approaches. The first one is the Chinese approach. China has a long tradition of policy experiments in its provinces, the equivalent to the Russian regions. Well, a pilot is tested in a province, and if it works, it is spread all over the country. This is a central approach to knowledge transfer. The other one is the public choice approach. The public choice approach is built on the notion that competition is good, so we try to simulate competition between or among elected officials. The fight for votes and for reputation is the driver for information spillover. Okay, what is the application for Moscow, the city we are actually living in? To be honest, I'm quite confident that we have slow but steady innovation in Moscow city government. Moscow is large. They for sure have a large body of highly skilled educationals, a lot of them from outside the organization. Just take the mayor as a major example, right? They have an internal performance management system which has to be improved, but there's one. So on the last two slides you will see an example of recent innovative behavior in public transportation, which makes me feel confident that we will see improvement in service delivery. On the first figure you can see an old school timetable for public buses. It's somehow odd. For somebody who has not been living in Moscow for at least 2 years, it's completely unpredictable when the bus will arrive, right? Because they indicate the frequency, the time between two buses. But when the bus will eventually arrive, it's completely unpredictable. So you can just leave and go for the next metro station instead of waiting for a bus, particularly in a rush hour. Now, as seen on the streets, take a look at the next picture, which is a new timetable. For instance, now I can see, well, the bus will arrive at 8:09. That's good. So I can predict when it should be arrived. And I can hold somebody to account because I can record and monitor, well, the bus has been late 20 minutes, 1 week in a row. So, and I will complain on Nashgora about this. This is why I'm confident on innovative behavior in Moscow City. This is what you will hear when you attend one of my classes or join the school as a faculty member.
I have one question. You said that sometimes the government officials are reluctant to do innovation because there is not enough competition in this sector. But don't you think that in Russia maybe that the public don't want to engage in this process as well because they are, I don't know, they are maybe afraid of some usage of this information against them? For example, if you say that if you claim too much on these websites, or you, I don't know, the public is in generally afraid of privacy issues, so that this information can be used against them. Don't you think that this is also maybe the barrier to innovative process in Russia?
Thanks for your question. Well, I guess if you take the population as a whole, there's a kind of distribution, a bell-shaped. There's a large middle, people who don't have time to invest. To be honest, I don't have time to invest on Nashgora. When I come home in the evening and the kids are in bed, I'm lucky to have half an hour for me. I will not engage. But it's interesting, you can have a look on the website and they are indicating who is the most active citizen. So there's a share of the population who engage, their civic engagement, and it's a kind of award, right? This is one of the guys who's really publicly engaged. He reports a lot of problems. So this would be my argument. Yeah, fair enough, there are a lot of people that are not interested. Just take a look at the turnout at local elections, right? Some 40 or 50% they don't go to the ballot box. But there is a share, and I think this share is enough to push bureaucrats ahead. What I would ask.
My concern was not about uninterested people. It was about the people who are afraid to report something or to share information on these services because it can be used against them. So, don't you think that this can also be a problem in countries like Russia or some other countries where bureaucracy and some authority can use this information against people?
Just a quick answer. Might be an argument, but underperformance in service delivery always results in a kind of grievance. So, in a lack of public support. And this will fall on your feet somehow, right? Just to be quick. So people might tend to avoid innovative behavior in public administration, but then they will have to pay the price. May it be higher fees, higher charges, higher taxes, or just bad service delivery, right?